Welcome to A Styled Life, the podcast for purpose-led female founders and senior leaders ready to use style as a powerful tool for confidence, impact, and influence. I'm your host, Alex Standley, multi-award-winning personal stylist, speaker, and sustainable fashion consultant with 2 decades of experience in the fast-paced world of fashion. Join me as we redefine success from the inside out. This podcast isn't just about clothes. It's about personal power, purposeful style, and creating a life that aligns with your values. So whether you're running a business, leading a movement, or stepping into your next chapter, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into the world of personal style, sustainability, female empowerment, and living with intention through real stories, expert insights, and plenty of inspiration. We've had the most incredible month of guest experts here on the podcast, and we've been talking all about body confidence and midlife and some of the issues basically that we face as women. And that was going to be the end of the series. It's covered in June, and then in July we were going to be moving on to new topics. But last weekend I had one of those moments that I really thought was worth sharing with you, because I know it's something that a lot of you will struggle with as well. I went to get some jean shorts and I tried a few pairs on, tried from very expensive brands like a gold at £220, right down to Marks and Spencer's, which I finally ended up buying at £26. So very different ends of the spectrum. And it was really interesting to me what happened, because my usual size is around a size 14 on my bottom half. And I tried the 14 on in M&S in these kind of slightly longer jean shorts, quite high-waisted. And I could do them up and they fit, but I just thought to myself, these are going to be uncomfortable. When I want to tuck my tops in and I want to feel comfortable in the heat. I want to feel relaxed. I don't want to feel like I'm kind of zipping myself into the shorts and they're wearing me rather than the other way around. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try the next size up. So I got the 16 and I was like, yes, that's so much better. They're so much more comfortable. And I went to buy them. But I then had this kind of script, this conversation going on in my mind of, I can't believe I've just had to buy a size 16. I've never bought a size 16 before. And even though I have done so much work on myself, and you've heard it in the episodes that we've had with our guests, I'm going to link each of those episodes here actually, because if you've missed them, I think it's really beneficial for you to catch up on them. But those familiar voices came in the back of my mind, like maybe you've put on some weight, maybe you're bigger than you thought you were, all of these things, all of these scripts that are still there. And I've done so much work on this, and I continue to work on this because it is a life's journey, as we've said in a lot of the previous episodes. And I am pretty healthy on the whole. Like, I work out 4 times a week. I try and eat as healthy as possible, although I do have a very sweet tooth, and that is definitely my downfall, especially in this weather with ice creams and all of that kind of thing, and lovely, iced coffees and things like that. I did start to question myself, like, oh, maybe I've been overindulging more than I thought I had, and all of these things. And actually, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, I went for the size that was going to make me feel more comfortable. Could I have bought the 14? Absolutely. But it's not what it's about. It's not about fitting into a particular size. So I wanted to share this experience with you because I know it's something that happens to my clients on a daily basis. And so many women have this size ceiling that they're happy to go to. And for you, you might be a size 10 and yours is a size 12, or you might be a size 16 and yours is a size 18. It doesn't matter what the actual size is. We will all have that ceiling of like, this is where we're comfortable to go up to. And for me, I was probably a size 10 to 12 before I had my daughter. So 10 on the top half, 12 on the bottom half. And then I went to a 12 on the top, 14 on the bottom. And I'm kind of a 14 overall now because I'm much bigger from working out on my top half now. So for me, this experience of buying a 16 was new because it's not a size that I've had to stretch myself to before. And I think this is why those narratives started coming up in my mind again. And that old reflex is, still there. And I think it would be wrong of me to just pretend like I felt completely fine in that moment, because obviously I didn't. So I wanted to share it. And I think this is what we do as women. We make the size label mean something. I'm also going to share in the show notes another episode that I did a while back on particularly on sizing on the high street and how incredibly inconsistent it is, and how you can find yourself being a different size even within the same store, depending on the fabric, depending on the trend of the season, whether it's oversized or whether it's more androgynous kind of skinny fit. And there's so many different factors that go into it, which is why it's absolutely meaningless to think anything about the label or to make it mean anything about ourselves. But the second thing that came up for me that I really wanted to share with you was this morning when I was brushing my teeth, I caught sight of my daughter's mermaid. And if you're not watching me on video, you probably can't see the mermaid in the picture, but she is the typical kind of ridiculous hourglass shape where it goes in so much at the waist. So the waist is absolutely tiny. And then, voluptuous hips and, very, very skinny at the top as well. And I just stopped and looked at it for a second, and I looked at the shape and the waist and the proportions. And let's face it, a body that no woman is naturally like that. You have to work very, very, very hard to get to achieve that. And it's just totally unrealistic. And I just thought for a second about how that's what's been sold to us since we were tiny children, that this is the picture of what is beautiful. And it kind of landed with me how early all of this starts. And I kind of connected all the dots together of, why I had that moment when I bought those shorts at the weekend. Because we sometimes talk about body confidence like it's something that we kind of lose somewhere in adulthood as women because of, changes in hormones or changes in lifestyle or, just aging and becoming less confident with our bodies because of perimenopause or because of having children or all of those kind of things. But actually, all of these things are instilled in us from such a young age. And it comes right back to when we've got these Barbies or these mermaids or these dolls when we're growing up, and this is what we're shown to as being the ideal beauty standard. And this aesthetic of the most ridiculous hourglass shape is what's instilled in girls. And it then shows up for me as a nearly 40-year-old woman in a changing room, running there on script in the back of my mind. And I think for the most part, we don't even think about these things. They're just there. It's just what we accept. And that standard isn't done by accident. Like these mermaids and Barbies and everything else aren't created like that by mistake. It's not a neutral, that unattainable shape is, as I said with the Jules Anderson episode, it's such a good marketing tool because a woman who believes that she's almost there, like she's almost good enough, just one size away, is a woman that continues to doubt herself and continues to keep buying into everything. So that mermaid or Barbie or however it starts for most young girls is the start of a very long sell, basically. I felt it was really important to share that, you're not alone in this feeling. We all feel it. And especially with the weather, how it is at the moment, and we're having to, be more exposed and show more skin and potentially go out and buy the shorts. Life really is too short to spend time worrying about what size you're going to pick up in those shorts or in those jeans or in that dress or whatever it is. The most important thing is that you're comfortable. It means absolutely nothing about you. And I hope this mermaid example has made you realize some of where this all comes from, some of why we make the size label mean something that it doesn't, because we're constantly trying to strive towards attaining a body shape and a size that is just not realistic. So I also wanted to go back to the thread of what's come up over the last month with these incredible guest experts that we've had here on the podcast. Because I've been speaking to all of these women about body confidence and body image, and they all came at it from completely different angles. And despite that, we kept arriving at the same place. Like we had Lisa Unger, who lost 5.5 stone. She reached the exact body that she'd spent years chasing. and found that she felt no different. She didn't feel more confident because the work was never about the size. And then Sarah Aspinall named the cost of holding everything together and performing competence for so long that you lose that thread back to yourself. And then we had Jules Anderson, who I love, like she refused the script that says that midlife is a decline that you're supposed to quietly accept. And then we had Roe Field and Cook, who talked about with me, like I shared about being the biggest that I've ever been, and yet the strongest, healthiest, and most confident at the same time. And those were all really powerful stories. And I think from Roe in particular, like she's been such an inspiration for me about strength over making yourself smaller. It's all about making your life bigger and giving yourself more energy and, physicality from a strength. And she always talks about thinking about your 80-year-old self and training for your 80-year-old self. Like you're going to feel amazing in your 80s as a grandma, or just, walking up the hill, carrying your shopping, whatever it is. And having that in your mind when you're training at this age, rather than training to make yourself smaller, make yourself thinner, make yourself more into this shape that we've been sold by society. Those 4 different episodes all came together in the fact that the standard was never reachable. It was never meant to be. And the waiting to reach it is what is quietly costing all of us. So I wanted to come ultimately to the reframe of the fact that confidence was never on the other side of this ideal body. It doesn't live in a smaller size. It doesn't arrive with, the right body, the calmer nervous system, or the younger face. It's not waiting on the other side of anything. Every version of waiting is a version of putting your life on hold. And the clothes that you're keeping for that one day, the rooms that you're not quite ready to walk into yet, the pictures of you that you stay out of, like with your family, with your children, with your partner, and the conditioning that wants you waiting, because a woman who is waiting is a woman who is still buying her way towards a finish line that keeps moving. The way out is not a better body. It's knowing who you are clearly enough that the standard loses its grip on you. This is exactly why my work doesn't start with a wardrobe edit, and it doesn't start with color or shopping. It starts with you. It starts with identity, and it starts with something that no other stylist I've ever seen starts with. My identity framework is all about holding up that mirror to who you are and finally getting you to see how incredible you are through all of these different lenses of astrology, human design, numerology, character strengths, values work. And we start there for good reason, because I want you to see yourself at your very best through your strengths, through the way that you communicate, the way that you're received in a room, and the way that you show up at your best. The women that I work with are incredible. They're established, they're accomplished, they're successful by every single measure. And from the outside, everything looks completely fine. They're absolutely smashing it. But what they feel inside is the distance between who they actually are and how they're being experienced in the room. And they feel it most before the moments that matter, whether that's a panel, whether it's a keynote, a photo shoot, a room full of people who they need to take themselves seriously. And the work is not finding a new look or finding which trends are going to suit you. It's closing that distance. And that begins with your identity before a single styling decision gets made. So I keep coming back to that bath toy, because the standard my daughter is being handed in plastic before she even gets to junior school is the same standard that I'm unlearning at my age in a changing room. And the most useful thing I can give her isn't trying to fit her into a smaller body or fit myself into a smaller body or needing to attain to these unattainable standards. It's giving her a mum who knows herself and dresses from that, who can buy the bigger shorts and walk out of the changing room and not beat herself up about it. It's a confidence that she can actually feel and she can inherit. And it's the self-knowledge underneath all of that, and the self-awareness and doing the work. So if anything in this has landed for you, the question isn't what should I wear or what size should I be? It's who am I underneath all of it? because style is all about self-expression. It's not about fitting in. It's not about squeezing yourself into a certain size. And I am so passionate about leading you on this journey. So if you're at the point where the external picture, it looks okay on the surface, but underneath something just doesn't feel right, and you're ready to make that change, to feel confident in showing up as you and using your style as the powerful strategic tool that it is, and overcoming some of these barriers around size, around shape, around, what you should and shouldn't wear, I would love to chat to you on one of my free style strategy calls. This is where we look at where you are currently, what your goals are, and how my Identity to Impact program can support you in reaching those goals and using your style as a powerful tool to amplify your success and leave behind your legacy. So you can book a free style strategy call on the link in the show notes. I would love to chat to you soon. And if anything has resonated from today, I would love for you to drop me a DM on Instagram or drop me an email, alex@alexandrastanley.co.uk. Thank you for tuning in to A Styled Life. If today's episode resonated, the best way to support the show is to share it with another trailblazer or leave a quick review. And if you're ready to align your style with your next level of impact, head to the show notes to book your free style strategy call. Because when your style aligns with your purpose, the world takes notice.